So when I first moved back, I was an adjunct professor at Oklahoma City University, and I taught film business and I taught screenwriting, and I had this great group of students, and like these kids love their home, you know, like, and even when we were growing up, like I think you were probably a little more like interested in LA, but I didn't want to leave. I love working for Gray. Like I was peripherally, you know,
I just knew I had to.
You knew you had to.
Right.
You knew you had to.
That's the kicker, isn't it?
I wanted to be an actor, and I couldn't do that here.
Yeah. So like in fall of 2016, things have changed even since then. Like we've watched the city evolve, but I was teaching film business, and like my best students, and even the students that like were still trying to find their footing would come in, the seniors, you know, and they're like, do I have to leave? And in 2016, I was like, I cannot believe that I have to say this, but yes, like if you want to do this, probably you need to go. And I think
consistently, if you want to do this consistently,
that's exactly right. If you want to do, if you want to make a living doing it, like you can work on films here.
Yeah.
You know, movies come, like we talk all the time, like right now, there's a film called Reagan. Rachel, you can tell them about Reagan in a minute, but you know, movies come here and people work on them, but it's part-time.
Yeah.
Then they go back to, what is your other job? It's like in LA when you say you're an actor and they're like, oh, where do you wait tables?
Yeah. What restaurant are you at?
So it's a similar sentiment here. And I hated the idea of exporting talent.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the medical space. It's ridiculous in the tech space. It's ridiculous anywhere. Like we have brilliant universities. What we need to do is retain talent so that we can grow as a city and diversify. And so Rachel and I were just like, that's what we need to do. We need to build, never mind making a movie, let's build an industry here. Let's keep these kids working. And like also let's bring people back, you know?
And I found that, I mean, in my first year here, something that really hit me hard was all the layoffs from oil and gas. You know, I'm an oil and gas family. My dad's in the Pipeline Hall of Fame. Like this is what I grew up in, and watching the sheer amount of layoffs where families were out of work. And I kept watching that, knowing what it is that we were trying to create. And it's like, well, we have a pivot industry. We have an opportunity to literally take these people and say, look, you have a skill set. We're just going to shift it into a different vertical. What you do is already qualified to work in this business, and we're going to show you how. And it became about something so much bigger than my acting career and Matt's screenwriting career. It came about an opportunity to do something really incredible for the community and to give back to the community. And I think that's what we're most passionate about, is how do you stand up an industry here where everybody benefits from it?
Right. Yeah.
With creativity at the center. So people think about the film industry and they think writers and directors and actors, which is correct. Those are exciting parts of it. That's what we see on screen. But what you don't realize is like, what is underneath that? And it's very much, that's the tip of the iceberg. You know, you're looking at hundreds of people, like careers that span from electricians and painters and accountants and
carpenters.
And also, you got to feed those people.
You got to feed those people.
Yeah.
Because the sets are mobile, right? And there's got to be a tent company that puts the tent over the catering. So the impact is just immense. If you look at Pawhuska, Oklahoma too, from a tourism perspective, you know, like, again, I've said tourism is my other passion. And one of the things that has floored me and really inspired me is the story of Pawhuska, which Scorsese is going to be up there doing a movie in February. But as most people know, like that started with Reed Drummond. But in 2017, that was a ghost town. That was a ghost town, and Reed Drummond sort of shot her TV show there, but she put it in the spotlight, opened the Mercantile, and like their sales tax revenue has increased 75%.
Yeah, people drive from all over to go there.
People come from all over the world.
It's crazy.
I heard that there was this is a firsthand report, that last Saturday, the wait to get into the Mercantile, to eat in her restaurant was 5 hours.
And being driven,
and it's
2 hours to get there.
And people have driven 2 hours to get there. So that's what they did in a very, very small town.
That's
so
amazing.
Imagine what happens if, like in Georgia, they had The Walking Dead. In New Mexico, they have Breaking Bad. Imagine what happens if we got Marvel, Lucasfilm, like an Ocean's 11 type series, something Indiana Jones, some kind of tentpole show, like the tourism industry explodes around it. It becomes another marker, kind of like the Thunder is. You know, one of the things that I discovered when I was working on a project about the Oklahoma City Thunder was that everybody affiliated that I interviewed told a story, myself included. I was in 32 countries in the last 5 or 6 years, and I would wear Thunder gear, and every airport I was in, whether it was in Uganda or it was in Croatia or it was in Shanghai, if you wear a Thunder hat, which I usually do, people come up to you and go, Thunder, they know it. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to also be that. We want people to turn on their TV and they go, that's an Oklahoma movie. And that has enormous value. So it's jobs, definitely. It's tourism, it's how our state is presented, how our city is presented. We have it touches so many people, and that is what excites me about this.
Well, and if you think about so the lost opportunities that Oklahoma's had. So the Watchmen series was just nominated for Emmys. It won Best Drama of the Year. That could have been an Oklahoma Emmy. That could have been. They wanted to film that here and couldn't because there was no infrastructure. There were no sound stages, so they had to go somewhere else. Yeah. So you look at those opportunities too, like where there's a sense of pride that Oklahoma gets to be a part of that. You have a series that is shot here that when you drive by the Cox Center that there are posters up on the wall of what's happening inside. Then when there's success around that show, everybody gets to take ownership of that. Everybody gets to be a part of that. And that's just something, new and exciting for Oklahoma that we're excited to be able to help bring here.